Oh my goodness. Hello. Y'all, I just got in from having such a good little dinner. My friend Charity reached out and we went to this little tavern joint, hole in the wall, up the street. I don't know if you've ever known or heard about the hotel the hoteliers, Urban Cowboy, but they have a really good bar called the Public House up the street from my house. It's in a historical mansion's carriage house out back, and they have amazing pizza. And I got the bee sting pizza. It's got honey and jalapeno peppers, and I think pepperoni. It's really good. But then we also got this really squishy, fluffy, chewy bread with a huge clump of ricotta that was all softened and drenched in olive oil, and then a mixed olive plate before that, and a really good cucumber salad. It was really good. It was a feast. I was really happy about it. I love a meal. But I had to share that with you guys. But I'm here now to do our video after a couple of glasses of wine and a lot of carbs. I'm super sleepy, but I can still channel our message. So yeah, if you haven't already, just subscribe to this channel, like the video, go follow me, not right now, but after the video. In the description box below, there will be a link to my Instagram account, Liz_Taylor_Magick. And you can go follow me there, and you can see our readings that I post on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, in blog form on Instagram before we talk about them in the video at night. And there's some slightly different angles from the morning than what we talk about in the evening videos. But yeah, let's just get to it. So, woof. I know I've been having people reach out and message me just about the intensity of the last few weeks. Big shifts and changes everywhere with everyone around me, all over the place. Some of them are jolting and some of them shocking, but I think that everything that I've seen so far for everyone has been for the better, for the positive. So it's all been very, very exciting. But also very draining and very tiring, because within great opportunities and happy progress and next levels and up levels and everything like that, we've also been going through these initiations and tests, and we've also been processing a lot of deeply ingrained patterning from the past, subconscious programs and beliefs that maybe were imprinted during early childhood, or things that have been long forgotten that we've been been dredged up to just sort of deal with again. So we've been going through this just messy process of emotions, full of excitement and anticipation and the exhaustion of change and upheaval, and sadness and grief and rage and anger and confusion and bewilderness and just exhaustion. I'm so tired right now. My hair is tired. It just won't even curl. It's so tired. But yeah, I think that in our reading today, Spirit was just acknowledging us for all of that chaos and work and devotion and just continuing to show up to this dumpster fire. Blender fucking garbage disposal turned on with our hand in the sink drain that this life has been the past few weeks. But I really think that things are about to really level out and just start growing and getting really fun and really exciting. At the center of this reading, we have Shadow Self, which is not always the most exciting card to get. But I do believe that we have, over the past few weeks, have been faced with our shadow self. And we have been really just getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. Getting comfortable looking at that shadow self. The shadow self that maybe our parents wanted us to hide or change to be more convenient for them. or maybe other, you know, people in society that were the powers that be at the time. The shadow self is like the parts of us that were shamed, that were told to be put away. You know, they were the parts of ourself that people thought that we should hide. And so they are the parts of ourselves that we feel like we need to hide in order to be accepted, or we're afraid that if people are to see that part of us, that it will equal abandonment, and then our ultimate demise. And so those are usually the parts of ourselves that we try to mute, and we don't allow ourselves. And then those are the parts of other people that we see that when those people have those parts of themselves and they own them and they're free and people celebrate those parts of them, it's really triggering. And that's a gift, because then we can see like, oh, I see that that person is free in that area and they embrace that part of themselves. And, you know, I was made to feel like that wasn't okay for me. And so maybe my trigger response is to feel jealous or envious of that person, or threatened because they get to be this way and I didn't. But really what I should see in that is, hey, I see that other people are like seeing them and accepting that in them. And so that's possible for me too. I just have to own that in myself and be proud of it and comfortable with that like they are. And so that's the healing work with the shadow self, is to see those parts of ourselves that we rejected and actually go to those parts of the self and make good with those parts of the self, and re-invite those parts back and embrace them to be healed and reintegrated in a healthy way, right? Because right now the shadow self is probably feeling very rejected and abandoned for a long time. So that part of the self may be a little extreme right now. And then trying to reach out for attention in unhealthy ways. And so once that self is embraced, and like there can be some like kind of course correction and like healing in that area, and it's kind of balanced out a little bit, like you can reintegrate that part of the self and, you know, embrace it and embody that part of you again and bring it back into the picture. And so I think that in the midst of all the change and all of the changes in life that are happening, I mean, like we've had basically like the first half of our life is like the videotape that we're taking out of the VCR, and like part B of the movie is like where we're starting now. And we're about to put that tape in, and it's like we're writing this story, starting over. None of the old rules apply. And so we can reintegrate this shadow part of ourselves and leave none of ourselves behind. Like it's all going to be reintegrated and healed to go forward whole, like fully embracing who we are and who we want to be moving forward. And so we're just in this little limbo right now, where we're in the end of the end of the end fizzling out. We just had this bing, ding, 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 like huge culmination, roaring boiling point spilling over. And so now it's just like, we get a second to just decompress and like let the rubble settle and let the dust settle. Divine timing is at play right now. So just trust that our story is being written, that destiny and fortune is watching over us, that God is in control, and that there's a plan and there's timing at play. But the transformation, like these dragonflies over here, they're a transformative symbol of renewal, spiritual renewal specifically. And so all of that is happening in this moment. We're in the season of resurrection and rebirth and leaving Egypt, right? We're in the midst of Passover and Easter season and Lent. And so right now we're out there in the wilderness with Jesus, being tempted and frightened and, you know, put through the paces for the 40 days. And so this is that trial period where our soul is tested. Do you have the grit? Do you have the persistence to like push through all of this darkness? Are you going to be in reactive mode? Are you going to resort to affect consciousness and then resort from there into destroyer consciousness? Or are we going to have affinity with the light? Are we going to practice the beingness of being eternal, which is unwavering, unchanging? And so instead of being in the effect mode of consciousness, we're in a state of cause consciousness, right? Where we are eternal, unwavering, unchanging. And so because of that unchangingness, that gives us the most powerful influence in the situation. And so we are the cause, not the effect, right? Cause consciousness, creator consciousness, builder consciousness, like with the light. So we're having affinity with the light. We're sitting in patience and in trust. There's plenty of reasons to hope. And that's what we should be doing right now, is renewing our hope with spring. This is a very springy picture to me. I just see like the fruit tree in the background. It's like these citrus, probably lemons, but they look delicious. And the sun is like shining on the other side of the wall. There's like these like magical little sparkles here of like miracles that are like the formation, the stuff that like the potential, the building material of reality here. And the more that we hope, the more we draw all of that potential in, that we draw that light upon us into this vessel that becomes our manifestation material, right? And like so much is just brewing in the cosmos right now. We just have to hold on and wait for the timing to be right. And in the meantime, don't do anything rash. Don't fall back into the default reactive mode, like tendencies of the shadow self. Practice wisdom. Practice what you've learned through experience and what you gain and glean when you tune into your spirit through the portal of your heart, right? We've been practicing what it's like to master our mind and our thoughts and our feelings to the degree that we can observe the thoughts and not let them control us, that we can let them pass and not attach ourselves to the stories that they're telling us, but realize that they're not necessarily true, and that we can let them go and put new thoughts there, replace them with new thoughts. We've learned to observe our feelings and learn from those, but not to let our feelings control us, to recognize what are surface emotions that come and go that might change with the weather of the day, but what are those core deep senses underneath the surface, right? What is that core deep truth? So we've learned how to decipher with wisdom. And so we're not acting right now out of a reactive state, but we are pausing. We are observing what's going on right now and what it's bringing up for us to see so that we can transmute. And we're saying, okay, pause. Wow, what a pleasure. What a pleasure that this insanity is playing out just the way it is right now. But I know that it is all playing out to present to me the assignment for the moment of what I can transmute to elevate that darkness into light that's going to be the sacrifice that's going to break open that breakthrough for me, that's going to open me up for that blessing. So under divine timing, we got the feminine King of Pentacles. We've been freaking visited almost every week by these feminine kings. And the feminine kings in this deck, so in this deck there are the queen, like the page, the knights, the queens, the kings, and then there's the feminine kings. And so how I've been reading the feminine kings, at least lately, is that this is like the highest level of conscious development where we've mastered the mature levels of the feminine, divine feminine qualities in the queen. We've mastered the mature levels of the divine masculine qualities in the king. And because we brought both of those into balance, we have now integrated the masculine and feminine within ourselves. Like the Merkaba here, we've got like that feminine and the feminine and the masculine coming together to make that six-pointed star in that holy union, that holy divine union within. So our inner world, the intrinsic world within us, is coming into unity, and in the physical like spectrum here, because like the Pentacles suit is about the material world that we live in. You know, we've had the feminine King of Swords, the feminine King of Wands. The Swords world is like the world of the mind and the ideas and communication. Wands is our spirit, our sense of purpose and our drive and our passion, our sense of self and self-worth. The Cups realm is our sense of emotion and our emotional intelligence and our ability to have relationships and the intelligence of our heart. And so the Pentacles is things coming into fruition in the material realm. And so this King of the feminine King of Pentacles is like, you've been able to cultivate such a beautiful interior realm, and you've been able to take care of yourself on the outside too, and your inner world and your outer world, and you're able to approach your life in a balanced way of being led by intuition and guided by spirit, but also being able to use your wisdom as well. And so things are really coming together and starting to blossom in this up level. So have hope and remain strong. And the Strength is a major arcana card that talks about the strength that comes through gentleness. But this strength is the strength that comes from taming the beast within. And so because we've been able to maintain hope, we've been able to tame the beast of our ego, right? Of our pride, of our temper, of our fears, of our scarcity, of our lack, of our doubt, of our wanting to control or lash out, or you know, just think that lion that can be such a predator, such a rah, you know, have such an animalistic tendency of not wanting to be backed into a corner. So the Strength card is usually a gentle feminine influence that is taming that lion and closing the mouth, right? The attacking mouth. It's like the gentleness that tames that and quiets that and softens and soothes that beast within that just wants to come out, right? It's not quite tamed. All right, and then under Wisdom, we had the Magician. And so it's like we know that we have everything that we need to make happen what we want to make happen. We are being like given a chance to co-create a new life, co-create it with divine, co-create it with spirit, meaning you feel that calling within you and you trust in absolute certainty in the Creator, and you enlist the help of all your angels. You know, you've got all of your thoughts, soul, mind, strength, courage, actions in alignment. You've got all the resources that you need. You've got all the talents and the wherewithal. And now it's all about maintaining that sense of certainty, getting your ego out of the way, opening yourself up for as a divine channel, and bringing that down, bringing that inspiration down through you and channeling it out into the world. But through all things, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? That's that. I can do all things that God has in alignment for me, put aside in my purpose. All the things that God has set aside for me to do, I can do through Christ that strengthens me. Meaning, when I have a perfected vessel to receive for the sake of sharing, when I want to do these things not to glorify myself, but to in service of others, to help the world, because that's what God wants me to do, because I'm showing up in obedience to Him, heavens will move mountains for you. You will be supported. Like everything that you need will be given to you. All of your resources will be provided. Timing will be aligned. You'll cross paths with the right people at the right time. You'll be at the right place at the right time. Everything will be given to you as you need it, when you need it. but it doesn't guarantee that there won't be challenges. It doesn't guarantee that things won't be scary, and it does not guarantee that things won't look bleak. In fact, they most certainly will. But the trick to the game, to winning the game, the cheat code, is to always remember that no matter what appearances may be in the game of life, the cheat code is to know that Creator is in all things. And whatever we're seeing is an illusion. And even though things might look bad, it's just a trick, because the moment we know with certainty that God can work everything out in our favor, as long as we're certain, that's the magic sauce that allows everything to, like, all the blocks to be removed. Okay, you guys? So be hopeful, be strong, be courageous, be excited. I think good things are happening. Thirsty from my dinner. Oh my God, from the best pizza and the best chewy bread with fluffy ricotta cheese. Oh, this is the best. All right, you guys. Well, I will see you tomorrow for our Thirsty Thursday romance reading for the week. And I'm so excited. I'm going to go to bed soon. And ciao.